Welcome back to another episode of the Course Creation Incubator. I'm Gina Onativia, your host, your bulldog, your cheerleader, in your ear, hoping to motivate you to get your course done and out to market. Now, if you've been listening to the last few episodes, you know I'm in the middle of delivering my final 6-week accelerator live. Now, if you've been listening to the last few episodes, you know I'm in the middle of delivering my 6-week accelerator course live. And this is just about the time that it hits some of my students that, what? This is real. This is happening. I am releasing a course at the end of the 6 weeks. And it starts to get really exciting, a touch scary, but exciting mostly because they can see their simple sales pages start to take shape. Or they realize how they're going to promote. Or they start to say, here's when I'm going to launch. I'm putting the stake in the ground. This is going to happen. And many of them are going to launch for one reason. They're keeping it simple. They're going for what I like to call the starter course. If you're newer to course creation, there are a few different types of online courses I really recommend. Starter courses, focus courses, and depending on your audience and where your business is right now, sometimes I recommend a signature course. Each has their own pros and cons, which you can imagine, but if you're starting out, I'd urge you to really create a starter course. Now, let's talk about what a starter course could entail. A starter course, to me, my definition, typically has 3 to 5 modules with around 15 videos or lessons and sells at a lower price point. And here's the key. The transformation is more manageable when it comes to a starter course. You're putting out a promise that isn't huge, that isn't your life's work. That's a signature course. So with my 6-week accelerator students, we focus a lot of times on starter courses because they're more manageable, because I know they can get done in 6 weeks. So for example, I've had a student, her starter course is about helping local businesses with their online marketing. So she appeals to carpenters, doctors, dentists, family-owned shops and restaurants who really don't know how to market themselves online. Her transformation is to help them get more comfortable with being online. It's just the beginning of a plan to create a full-on online marketing strategy. Notice how I'm saying it's just the beginning of a plan. They're getting more comfortable with being online. They're not going to master being online. It's just the beginning. If this course creator had planned on giving her students the big box of everything you need to know about marketing, that's more of a signature course. Did you guys like how I just dropped that accent in there? But because she's refining and niching down on her transformation, it's a great starter course. It's a great entry point for her to build on. Her students can take that course, start their online marketing journey, then she can build her leads and potentially become a consultant for them down the line. Now, that's something you might want for your starter course, to lead to leads, or maybe to lead to a different course, a bigger course. So I think focused and signature courses have their place in an online business, and there are exceptions, but I truly believe that it's your first time creating a digital course, you want to start with a starter course. Here's 5 reasons why, and let's dive deeper into these over the course of this episode. First and foremost, it's less overwhelming. A starter course is less overwhelming because there's fewer pieces to it. There's less pressure involved in creating it. A major obstacle, a lot of times that I see with my course creators, is getting lost in the work and overdoing it. So many course creators want to start right out of the gate with this huge course promise. But if you want to be successful, you need to start with something more manageable. It takes that big pressure off your back. You do not need to put out a signature course on your first go. You could always build it later on. One course at a time, start small, and then build. Now, I mentioned that course promise, and I've talked about this before in the podcast. A lot of times when my course creators get stuck, or all of a sudden their course is growing to 20 and 30 modules, it's because their promise is too big. Really look at what you're promising and see how you can scale back. You don't have to give them the world when you're first starting out, okay? You don't have to prove something. Give them a restrained course promise, and you can build from there. Here's the second reason I want you to consider a starter course. They're more efficient. You can get it done in less time. That's another reason why I recommend it for the 6-week accelerator. A signature course can take months, half a year sometimes. And a pitfall that some course creators face is starting with a simpler course and allowing it to morph into something bigger. I mentioned it a minute ago. I call it scope creep. We're normally really conscious of this when it comes to, say, other people or clients. Hey, this is more than we defined in our scope of work. But it can be tough for us to redefine our own scope creep when it comes to creating our courses. When this happens, though, I can guarantee you become less efficient and it'll take you extra months to get your course out to market. Starter courses are by definition more efficient, easier, and faster to get done. Reason number 3, it's a confidence builder. I'm telling you right now, getting that starter course done will build your confidence. It gets your feet wet. A lot of times my course creators deal with imposter syndrome. They feel like they're not the expert. Who am I to be putting out this content in this course? But once you finish your starter course and students start to enroll and trust you, you end up building so much confidence. I've got a few grads going through the 6-week accelerator. This is the first time that I've welcomed back grads into the 6-week accelerator again. And they talk about how they have so much more confidence this time around because they've already sold their course. Plus, they've been incredible ambassadors for the group. And they can say, okay, you can do this. You can commit to this. You've got this. A starter course gives you that same kind of confidence to do more, create more, put out more offers, and ultimately make more money. Here's another reason, number 4. It's easier to test a lower price point when you're doing a starter course. Now, sometimes I mentioned the signature course. When course creators put out a bigger course like that, they might feel like they need to charge $9.97 or $12.97. And to be honest, those are very appropriate price points for a signature course. And sometimes they get crickets because they haven't validated their market or that price point. Now, I don't want that to happen to you. Building a course for a lower price point gives you the opportunity to really test your offer. $197, $247, whatever it is. Some of my accelerators are going to be doing this in the next few weeks. It's very exciting. They will start off with that lower price point, and slowly but surely as they continue to launch, because you're going to launch a few times, we're not just going to launch once and forget it. And as they continue to launch it, they will raise their prices. I love this strategy because you get the confidence of having sold it once at that price point. You know it's worth more. You hear your students raving about the transformations that they're getting out of your course, and you know you can raise the price. But now you have that confidence because you've put it out there for the first time. And you've also gotten testimonials and case studies that you can put forth and say, this course is worth it. It's worth the money. 5th and final reason, it doesn't have to end with a starter course. Like we've already talked about this. It can eventually grow or lead into another starter course, into a library of courses, into your signature courses. I've had a few students this time around in the 6-week accelerator who were going to create these bigger courses, and they decided to scale back. And they said, Gina, I'm just going to teach a smaller part. So I might have had 3 parts, 3 pillars that could have gone into a signature course. I've got one student who is just focusing on that one pillar. She's going to release that as her starter course. And then she can build on. She could either release those other 2 pillars as standalone starter courses, or she can release that signature course with all 3 pillars rolled into one. The great thing is she has options. Once you know the process, you can build on it. Okay, you build on success. You've learned it the first time around. A lot of my 6-week accelerators will go on to create bigger and better courses because they have that knowledge of the process. Now, more than anything, if you've been listening to me, I want you to finish. I want you to be one of the few that gets across the finish line and actually gets your course done and out to market. So here, I want to leave you with 5 questions to think about in regards to what you want to create. Now, you've heard me talk about this before, but in the context of a starter course, think through these questions. What's the lifestyle outcome you want for this course? Is it free time, more time with your kids, more time to go hiking? We're about to go for a hike right now. More time with your spouse or partner. Do you want to travel? What do you want? And where can the starter course take you? What's the business outcome you want for this course? Do you have a consulting practice right now and you're getting a little burnt out and you want to move on? Or you want something different, a different offering? Figure out how this course can enhance your business and keep that in mind as you create it. So here are 3 questions to think about in regards to what you want to create when it comes to your starter course. You've heard me ask some of these questions before. I want you to think through it as part of your starter course creation. First and foremost, what's the lifestyle outcome you want for your starter course? Is it more free time, time with your kids, more time with your spouse or partner? Do you want to go for more hikes? We're about to go for a hike in a minute here. Do you want to travel? What do you want to do in terms of your lifestyle? How do you want to change it up? Second, what's the business outcome you want for this starter course? Do you have a consulting practice right now and maybe you're feeling a little burnt out? Do you want a nice balance of digital courses and consulting? Do you want to diversify your offerings? Figure out how this starter course can really enhance what you do while you create your business overall. Third, what kind of time do you have to work on your course? Do you have just a few hours a week? Or maybe you're going to cut down on clients or go part-time while you're building your course. I've had clients do that. I've had done-for-you clients and 6-week accelerator clients who cut down on seeing clients or doing work or going part-time so they can focus on their course. And I think that's really smart if you can do it. A starter course does take less time to create, but you still want to set aside time to do it. No matter what, it all comes down to making sure that you get your course done. You get across the finish line, you put it out there. You never know what's going to happen until you put your course out to market. All right, I'll see you next week. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss one episode. And leave me a review. If you've been enjoying my rants and me in your ear, encouraging you to get your course-based business out there, I would love for you to leave me a 5-star review. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.